Hi everyone, welcome to Linka Online. I thought I'd just do a little bit more resin stuff for you to show you how easy it is. The kits went on several weeks ago, a little bit expensive, so we're trying to drive the prices down, as you're probably aware if you've been watching the website and everything. So I'm putting together a new kit which is really going to be what I'm calling a starter kit, and hopefully drive the price down. What I've got here is some wax. I've got a mould here, it's brand new, never been used before. And it's for the new brick Lineside one. This is the N gauge version, just so I don't use as much stuff really. Just while I'm showing the video, I'm trying to keep the voice as loud as possible because some people have said it's quiet. All I'm doing here is just dipping into the wax and just really liberally just going all over everything with a brush and get a layer of wax on there. So I'm going to do this as quickly as I can so the video isn't too long. Generally what I do is leave that 2 or 3 minutes and then put another coat on, but pretty much if you get a good coat on there it's fine. It doesn't take long to dry, only takes 30 seconds a minute and that's fully dry, so that's fine. This mould, as I said, has never been used. So that's the wax. We do the wax release stuff, it'll last forever. A bottle of this just goes on and on and on and on, and it also works with the casting stuff. Okay, equipment wise, I'm using a little digital weighing scale here. You can get these off eBay for about £6, and some plastic cups. Yeah, nice and straightforward. What I'm going to do is, if I'm doing lots of casting, I'll just put a letter A on the first cup, a letter B on the second cup, and then I'll just have one that I'm going to actually keep pouring in and throw away as I do it. So as long as I don't mix those two up, I'm fine. So I'm just going to do a bit of guesswork here. So I'm putting cup A onto the scale at 0. I'm using part A, quick check up. This is exactly what's going to come in the kits anyway. Okay, and then do this by weight, not by sight. It's so much better by weight, and I've realised that the two don't weigh the same in terms of volume. So I don't know, I'm going to do about 27, that's gone at 27, so we'll do 27, doesn't matter if I waste a little bit. So 27 of part A, exactly the same as part B. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Sorry, again, mix that up. So about 27 of part B. And I think you probably see what I mean if you can see that on the camera. Yeah, this one's a little bit higher than that one because the weight's different by volume, so just do it by weight, it works so much better. I was making the same sort of mistake. There's one's thicker than the other, the part B is thicker. So I always pour the part B into the mixing cup first. And now, as I said, I can keep this this part B cup and I can just keep using that, keep topping it up and just carry on doing moulds one after the other. Lollipop stick, part A, and it's a lot more runny, so you can just pour it straight in. Nice quick mix. You're only looking at 10-15 seconds of the mix there. Just discard the stick. So as soon as you've got it there, just pour it away, and I'll just generally pour into the centre here. And it's like water, it's just like pouring water. You can sort of watch it go in and fill up the mould. No problem at all. You don't get the air bubbles like you get with casting material. Try and fill it all the way to the top, but try not to let it spill over the edges, because it's so much better if you just get it spot on. And you can just drip it in there. And I've got way too much there. I could probably done another one with that. The thing is, it goes off fairly quick, so I haven't really got long to mess around with it. If I'm really quick, I'll just get stone domer there. And what you could do is, if you've got all your moulds laid out, you can just throw that cup away once you've finished with it and move on to the next one. You won't really have much time to make more stuff and do half a mould and then the rest of it. So if you actually weigh that piece when you finish, you'll know exactly what you need to mix for it, which I'm hoping to put on the website at some point when I get around to it. Okay, I still know I'm okay because it's clear. Once that starts going white, I can't mess around anymore. This is a lot more delicate, this piece. So just drip it onto the side there, and hopefully we'll be able to see this thing come out shortly. I'm just using up what I've got here just to prove the point. This is a really, really tiny little piece here in the corner, a little bit more delicate. What you don't want to do is you don't want to scrape it like you do with the casting material. If you do spill a little bit over, just leave it alone and it's fine. Okay, so I've got enough to finish this mould, no problem. See, I just dripped it on the mould there, so just leave it. Okay, that's pretty much it. What you could normally do now is just get rid of that. Oh, I've mixed it in B. Never mind, I meant to mix it in the empty cup. Don't know what I've done there, but here. Right. So what you normally do is throw your empty cup away. Get your next mould on the table and just carry on. Make as many as you want. You can just keep putting. You can put as much A and B in there as you want, but obviously you want to keep the measures right. So usually 25 and 25, something like that. Mix a cup, off you go. Another 25, use a new cup and a new stirrer because you don't want to contaminate the next one, and just move on. Now what we're looking for really is to watch that go white. Can you see that? Let me have a look at the camera. Okay, you can see that's pretty much clear at the moment. Doesn't take long. With this particular one, this isn't the top of the range stuff that I also sell on there. This is the second one down. Still a very, very good quality material. And it's still 100% clear. It'll just start going all at once. You'll know from the actual cup as well when you pick it up. It's quite hot. It gets quite hot as it's going off. And once it does that, it doesn't take long to go along. What I did earlier is a bit like Jackanory, I guess, or whatever it is. Here's one that I made out of the same stuff earlier on, just to make sure that it was coming out fine and there was no issues with it. So this is the boring part, waiting for it to go white. I may pause the video there for a few seconds, I may not, I may just carry on, because then I've only got to stitch it all together. So, okay, so let's talk a little bit, while we're waiting for that, we'll talk a bit about the wax. Yeah, this one hasn't got its label on yet, but we've got the labels done now. The wax works perfectly well. You would think it's sort of going to make the normal casting material actually bubble more, but it doesn't, because it dries as though it's not there at all. It just dries, it just feels like a rubber when it's on there. So you can put that in there and it just helps the casts come out without breaking it. I use it now on the really, really fine stuff like this, yeah, on the little window bars, etc, etc, just because it just helps to get the casting out, but you don't have to use it, obviously. Thing is, if you move back from resin to casting, all you need to do when you're finished is just wash the moulds in nice warm soapy water, dry them off, and away you go, no problem at all. But you must remember to wax them before you put the resin in, because if you don't put the wax in before the resin, you might get away with it once or twice, but you're just going to wreck the mould. Now hopefully you can see this is going pure white, and it's just following it round, and I can just see it going to the edges. You can just sit here and watch it. And generally speaking, like if you're doing casting, you might do 6 or 8 moulds. You can use Linka moulds, these scale cast moulds, which is our brand, or the red rubber moulds. That's the new Cotswold stone. Sorry, the new heritage stone one. That's finally come out fully online now. And you'll also notice with these red moulds is these have all been sort of pre-waxed and stuff now anyway. It's a different material that finishes it off, but it just gives it a really nice finish on the surface, which is a little bit better than what some of the earlier ones were. So trying to get the quality up as much as possible. But yes, you can use the silicone moulds, you can use the Linka moulds, and you can use the rubber moulds that we use. Some of the rubbers, we did try it on some of the rubbers and some of the other silicones on the market, and it didn't like it at all. In fact, I wrecked a couple of moulds doing that. But all the materials that we use and all the materials that we sell our moulds in, this resin works perfectly fine with. Again, there's different resins on the market. There's some stuff which you can buy in the hobby shops. It's quite expensive. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Peebo or something. What a nightmare. It just wrecks the mould anyway, whether you put the wax in or not. So just be careful about what you use. This is a fast cast one. There is a slow cast one. I'll show you a slow cast casting. Just while waiting for that to dry. It was the tunnel version of that, and you'll see it's a different colour. Yeah, this can take an hour. It's only workable for about 15 minutes, but it can take about an hour to dry, an hour and a half to dry. So it's okay. But if you're wanting to do a lot of moulds, it can be a little bit slow and a bit cumbersome. It's thicker as well to pour in. It's not as liquid as this. And you can't see when it's going off, so you're constantly just waiting before you take it out. When you do take it out, it tends to be very, very soft and flexible, and then you have to lay it down and just let it sort of dry overnight. So we decided against that, and I've gone with this faster cast version. The other one that we've got on the website, I'm only talking while I'm waiting for this thing to go off here. It's gone pretty much white all the way around the edges now, still a little bit clear in the middle. If I put my hand over it, I can feel a bit of heat. The other resin kit that we do, the more expensive one, is faster than this. So that would have already gone by now. You've only got about 90 seconds, 2 minutes probably of work time. But it's great if you just want to rack out loads of parts and get on with your building. But this is really good stuff as well anyway, so it's fairly fast. Okay, so I'm just going to sort of tempt fate a little bit and yeah, okay. So that's smooth. Okay, so it's smudge in the middle where it hasn't gone. Around here it has. It's gone like really, really shiny, like glass plastic. So excuse me doing that with my finger there. You wouldn't normally do that. You'd probably give it another few minutes. What's this video been running now? 13 minutes. So from start to finish. And it's always slow when you're waiting for it. So go ahead if you want on the video and just skip on a little bit whilst you're waiting. What else can I tell you about whilst we're waiting? If you want to put comments on the videos, and if there's something you want to see, please ask. Yeah, please ask what you want to see. I don't really mind. I'll do any mould, I'll do any cast, I'll do the videos, and I'll do write-ups for the website. I do post it on the forum and say, let me know what you want next, what components are you looking for, and I do get some feedback, and that's the feedback that I use to make the new products with. So please do feedback as much as you possibly can, and let me know what you like, and I'll work with you and try and get that to the forefront for you. Cups, plastic cups, Poundland, 20 cups for £1. So you can do loads and loads of stuff here for £1 and just, no messing around at all. If you're going to keep casting in resin, there's no need to wash the moulds or do anything with it. Just take the stuff out, give it another wax coat. Even if you're not going to use it today, just give it another wax coat. You've remembered to do it then, so there's no forgetting. I did one the other week and I just totally forgot one of the moulds. Put the casting in and it just wrecked it. £20 mould gone, poof, it's in the bin. Because there's no way you can get it cleaned out. So I just put a coat of wax on the moulds, when I put them away. One, it protects it and keeps it in good order. Could be 6 months, a year before I use it again. So I tend to put a coat of wax on, and I still wax them when they come out again and put the resin on, and that way I'm sure that I haven't ruined anything. So I'm getting a little bit impatient because, well, that's life, isn't it? It's still a little tiny bit sticky in the middle. For some reason, where it's thicker, it goes off faster. You would have thought it was the other way around. Again, I can touch these. These are okay. And you're not in a rush to take them out. You could leave it like that all night if you wanted, or you can take them out, whichever way. It sands really easy, the resin. So if you pour a little bit much in, like I have done there, and it's a little bit thicker than you want it, you could just turn it upside down and sand it away. I'm going to mess around with this one because I'm not too bothered, and it's still a little bit soft, but I'm just going to sort of prove the point. And it really is too soft to be taken out, but just for the video I'll do it anyway. Yeah, just to show you the process. And you can see it's soft and it's bending, but if I lay it on there, and I usually lay it flat down because that's the face which you need to leave flat, that'll just go off and that'll be fine. And the details, absolutely spot on. It's absolutely perfect. There's not an air bubble inside. There's nothing there at all. So you can just leave that on there. The same, a little bit early with these. Check them out. And the mold's in perfect order. There's no problem with it at all. And this one's got an undercut on it. I don't know if you know that, if you've got this mold or not. So with casting it can be a bit of a nightmare. So it's still a little bit soft, but it's okay. It's hard enough to take out. And again, you've got the details on it, and you've got the very fine detail there on the Victorian roof, which is the half normal tile and half round. So that's that particular piece. Should we fare the window out? Can do. It is very soft. Ooh. Okay, there's the window piece. And there's not a bubble inside, and pretty much there never is. And then just the tiny little corner pieces. And tidy these up afterwards around the edges, where I've just put a little tiny bit too much in. But it's absolutely spot on. Very simple, very straightforward. How much stuff can you get from a bottle? Well, it depends what you're casting. If I'm doing bigger pieces, I'll always go for the normal casting material and that little bubble that I just dropped on. So the mold's perfectly okay now. I'll just be put away. How much can you get out of one of these bottles? Well, if you're doing this type of casting, you can get a lot. You can get quite a lot. You've got there 500 mils. We just used 27 on those two molds, and there was some left, so we probably only used 20. Yeah. So work it out for yourself. That's 25 full sets. Yeah. So you could do quite a nice lineup of those if that's particularly what you wanted. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you anymore. I'm going to see if I can just take this out for you. Yeah, show you the quality. That's what it'll just do. It'll just fall out. And I say it's just a little bit soft, but it's not far off now, to be honest with you. Yeah, you can see it bend, but that's okay. And that's where I put my finger on at the back. You can see it there through the because it's gone a little bit see-through. That'll disappear when it goes fully white. So if you just put that there, that'll just dry off and it'll be rock solid like that all the way through. This particular mould designed that with this one and the other one that's got the side cut off it to go side by side and make a whole length of wool. But you can see the detail. The details come out absolutely fine, apart from that where I put my finger on the back and touched it, which you won't be able to see anyway because it's not on the face. It's still a little bit soft, which you don't really want it to be. Well, you might do. You might want to feature it a little bit. I don't know. And on some parts, that's not really a bad idea. If you want to curve something, if you want to do a curved wall, you know, the two walling pieces, the dry stone walling. Yeah, I often do it in this, and then I just sort of bend it round a round object, and you get a nice curved wall, and then just let it dry there. Put an elastic band on it, let it dry, and it's great. So that's it. That's it, guys. That's a piece done. Like I said, please put comments on the videos, and I'll cast whatever you want and do whatever you want me to do. I hope that makes a bit of sense. As I said, that one's probably took about 15, so I might get about, I don't know, 30 of those out of one set of resin stuff, maybe 40, if I particularly wanted to. So just leave them down to dry till they're flat, and away you go. Just before I go, we'll get this little piece here, and we can see the knockouts. Just got a bit of material in there. It normally just breaks out when it's dry, and that's the dormer roof that we see there, and these little pieces go on the sides like that. Yeah, so I say it's still a little bit soft, but we what am I doing? Losing track of where I am now. You get the picture. So all good. Like I said, feedback. I'd love your feedback. Share the video as much as you want or as much as you can, and let me know if there's anything I can help you with. So until next time, keep building.